What it do, my baby boos? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, hey, hi, how are you? What it do? My name is Alyssa, and I am the girl with the plum bob tattoo. Welcome to the channel, but most likely you are not new because this has been getting requested for a little bit now that we have gone a couple generations since the last time we showed off a family tree, and yeah, it's been requested again, so I'm gonna give the people what they want. All right, we have Isabella going around just collecting the dead plants and disposing of them because when I tried to do it in the last episode, it just wasn't working, and we're just trying to start from scratch and just, you know, get what we can get out of this harvest as much as we possibly can. It just seems like the hippies have been letting us down, y'all. They've been letting us down. They just let all of these plants die, so I'm just like sitting here wondering what the heck they are doing. Just go ahead and keep disposing. But while Isabella goes ahead and does that, I'm going to go on and check her family tree. So it gets a little crazy and a little bit confusing. Isabella comes from a very, very long line, actually, since the dawn of time. Like, if you go up to her oldest relative that you can with her, you'll find that that relative also has a few generations ahead of her too. The very, very first person that started it all was Eve Green. Now, she actually entered the picture with Adam, and they were married technically, but she ended up having a baby with the chief of an opposite tribe, and that actually ended up kicking off our family. The next generation, these three are Adam's children, but they didn't really go very far with their family trees. Like, you can see that Bam Bam went on to have, a granddaughter, went on to have a few descendants, but nothing crazy. Actually, more descendants than I really thought, to be honest. They just been going on and like and doing their own thing and doing something like rabbits, if you get my drift. But our next generation was a young woman from the opposite tribe, the daughter of Eve and the chief from the opposite tribe. Her name was Rhea Green. Actually, she lived to be very, very long. She was the queen of the ancient civilization, and she brought in the gods, I guess. I don't know. She named them after mythological gods. So she has a daughter, Demeter, a daughter, Estia. There are different ways to pronounce it, apparently. I mean, Demeter, I called her Demeter throughout the entire part of that series, and I know people were getting a little annoyed with me, so I don't know. I'm gonna say Demeter for the sake of now. And we have Hestia, which I called Estia, Hera, Hades, and Zeus that Rhea gave birth to. Zeus went on to have his own family over here. What, Herman? I don't remember Herman. Jill, you see, like, I don't even know these people, to be honest. But the next one to carry on the throne was Estia. She ended up, I think she was the one who fell in love with Perseus. They went on and had a little jungle adventure together and defeated their father, who was trying to take over the world, basically. He was trying to eliminate his bloodline because there was, in fact, a prophecy that his bloodline, his children, were going to end his reign. And so he would try to send them off to be killed as soon as they were born. But little did he know, the person who he was hiring to kill them had a heart, and so they decided to raise the babies as their own, unbeknownst to him, which in fact allowed the prophecy to actually be fulfilled. We still have a living brother, Hades, which is kind of interesting. He lives in Forgotten Hollow, like Hades would. And Estia went on to have the daughter, Juliet, who became our next heir. Looks like she did also have a miscarriage, a son, and she also had Aragon. So Aragon became the king. He took over the throne, and Juliet ended up being cast out from the family and shunned because she fell in love with a man named Romeo, and they went on to have their son Alexander. So Romeo Montgomery is over here. He had his parents, you know, the ones that didn't want the marriage to work out. So they together had Alexander, and after everything went down with them and they ended up dying at a very, very young age, Alexander was still just a baby. And at this point, Eve had kind of a villain arc, and she decided that she wanted to become better for her family. She wanted to not be so evil because she was a bad bitch at first. He ended up in kind of a bad environment where he wasn't really wanted. And so as a baby, Eve decided that she was going to travel to the Americas, and she was going to smuggle her descendant, Alexander, with her, let me see, great grandson. Oh, that's not even that far. Anyways, she decided to smuggle him into the Americas, but she was not established herself, so she ended up bringing him to an orphanage in the Wild West, and that is where he met Esther. This is Esther Green. They met at a train station, which I thought was really, really cute, and they went on to have Alice first, and then Daisy and Clyde as twins. Clyde went on to actually, once again, die young because he fell in love with a woman named Bonnie, and they ended up having their son Leo. But because they went on to do what happened, Leo was raised by Alice, who ended up becoming the next heir. I just wanted to say and point out really quickly that Daisy also had a couple kids. She had Rose with her husband, Tom Buchanan, who ended up kind of abusing her in a few different ways. So then she ended up actually, not that I endorse it, but cheating on him with a man named Jake Gatsby, and Dahlia was the love child between them. So we had the two daughters growing up in the manor in Willow Creek without a man, honestly. Like, Daisy just kind of took over the Willow Creek Manor, and actually Rose is getting married, and I have a future planned out for her too in the next episode, actually, so you'll see a little bit more of Rose. But Alice was, of course, the successor from this generation, and she went on to have Everett, and she also raised Leo. She had Everett with a man named Arlo that she met in Salvadorada, so they ended up having Everett and Marie. These are fully their children. Marie ended up getting pregnant very, very early and then getting married to a man named Danny Zuko, and we just freed her from the court, from jail. She murdered him. She poisoned his food, but she got off, and they have a son named Michael, who is now a child. Danny Zuko was cheating on Marie with Sandy, and so he has a daughter with Sandy. Sandy is the one who actually ended up taking the blame for the murder, and so she's in prison right now for the murder that Marie committed. So that was a whole thing in itself, but Everett was the successor for this generation. He got married to a beautiful woman that he met while he was working a case named Amalia, and they had two of their own children. They had twins, but first he went off to war before he even met her, and he had a one-night stand with the nurse that actually helped him get over some of his wounds, Charity. She was killed, and then Isabella, facing being an orphan as a child, went to Samerica. This all took place in like the UK somewhere. She went to Samerica, found her father, and him and Amalia raised her as their own. And then they ended up having these two twins. Honestly, I kind of want to see what happens with Frankie. He's kind of turning into a little like Shaggy character of his own. And Isabella is kind of finding herself in this commune. Also, Audrey is just a little teenager who has been helping her mom with this diner, and slowly she's been kind of coming to love it, even though she hated it at first. So that is my family. I wish I could zoom out. Honestly, it's very detailed. It's extremely detailed, actually. Like, sometimes I can get lost in here. Estia. Okay, now I can find Eve. So this is the chief of the other tribe. And yeah, so it all started with Eve. She's still alive. She was a vampire for a long time. A green vampire because she ate the forbidden fruit because she's Eve. So she was a plant sim / vampire. And then she became a witch, and then she just gave herself eternal life. And the children that she still has that are still alive are vampires, except for Sophia, which I found interesting because her father is Vlad. So I thought she would have gotten the vampire gene, but I guess not. Oh yes, by the way, Eve is now with Vlad. He's technically one of her children, to be honest. He only became a vampire because she created vampirism to protect her children. So that is our family. There's a lot of people who are, I don't even understand, they're like cousins and one's and second removed, and I don't even know, you guys. We do have to probably check in with the royal family soon. I'm thinking that the king is probably dead, so we should probably find a new successor and everything everything. But yeah, you guys, that is my family tree. We are currently with Everett's children, and we'll just kind of figure out who becomes an heir from there. But right now, we're just kind of enjoying their young adulthood / teenagerhood and just kind of letting her do what she needs to do at this commune. It's just a nice place with a great community and a lot of activities to do, to be honest. She's kept busy and working like a mule all day. Like, she's just, all she does is work. Do we need to water this? No. Okay, I guess not. All right, well, that's gonna be it for me today. I really hope that you all enjoyed. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. I haven't done a family tree in a little while, and I feel like it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and I don't even control half of it, you know? Like, these people are just, they're not people, they're bunnies. They're just absolute rabbits. So I'm just gonna keep disposing of all this dead stuff. Some of these aren't dead. Nice. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I will see you all in my very next video. Bye, loves. Mwah.